Hello everybody, welcome back to Life with Mama B. How are y'all doing this morning? I am up and in the streets early this morning, but not pleasurable. One thing is I get a chance to get out the house. That's good. But I have to go out to my job. Most of you that have been following me know that I work an hour away from home. But I had some computer issues, so I have to take my laptop out to my job so they can either fix it, change it out, all of that, whatever they have to do with it. So I jumped on this morning because, as you know, we are doing Word of the Day. And I have, the information that I wanted to talk about today. But as I was driving, something else came up in my spirit. So today's word of the day is motives. Good one. Just want to encourage you to let everything that you do be intentional. When you have the right motives, and motives are, the reason that you're doing something. Your reason for doing something. That's motive. So when your motives are wrong, usually things don't come out well. Not only do they not come out well, then other people, are affected by, your motives when your motives are not right, when they're not pure, when you're not doing things intentional. Many times when people have wrong motives, it is, directed toward a particular person, group, or a particular event. And that's really not good. Our motives have to be pure because there is a thing called you reap what you sow. And when you want to sow good, and when you want to reap good, you have to sow good. And so we just want, to encourage you to let your motives, be right. And you can have right motives when you are properly identified, when you believe in, trust in, submit to who God says that you are. And then when you take the assignment and your purpose in life, and then you live that to the best of your ability. And when I say live something to the best of your ability, I mean do all that you can do, because God is going to do the rest. Many times when our motives are not right, then we get discouraged and frustrated. Then anxiety kicks in, fear and all of its characteristics. So, that is just going down a road that's never ending. Or if it ends, it ends in destruction, and we don't want that, because we're dealing with so many things in the whole world, not just in your home, in your neighborhood, not just in your area, but in the whole world. We're dealing with things now that we don't have control of. So why inflict yourself with more trouble, with more responsibilities that you really didn't have to have? So let's let our motives be pure. And then when our motives are pure, it allows us to do things intentionally. When you do things intentionally, it will all work out for your good. So having, the right motives, not only, it's just like having the wrong motives. Having the right motives, it affects other people, but it affects other people in a good way. Everybody wins. And that's what we're about, because we understand that our lives are not just for us. We've submitted our life to Christ, and, we're living to be a blessing to other people. We're living to win people into God's kingdom. And so when you have the right motives, that's what will happen. We all win. And like I said, it's so many things that are going on, so many things that we're encountering, and not just encountering, but it seems that, we're getting these back to back situations. Now, one thing about God, he is not, promoting this and wanting this to cause us, to fail, to be frustrated. God does not do that. He causes us to win. So that means there is something that needs to get to us, in us, or out of us. And if we, just not react on the impact, then we won't, react wrong. We won't get the wrong message or not get the message at all. So motive helps us to do that, because motive keeps us organized. It keeps us aligned. It keeps our mental aligned. We know where we are. We're walking in integrity. We don't have to be, looking at somebody else and envying what they're doing, envying what they're wearing, envying what they have. We don't have to do that, because God says we can have whatsoever we say. But listen, it has to be in the will of God. So just make sure, that it's in the will of God. So let your motives be pure. Let your motives be, generated out of love. Let it be generated out of God's strength and everything that God has for us, because we have to continue to walk in purpose. A must. We have no other option. Because remember, if you saw my video, you don't have an option to quit. Quitting is not an option. Go back and watch that. If you're feeling like, you want to quit, quitting is not an option. That's not what we were created to be. We were created to be winners. And the word of God says he would that we prosper and be in health even as our soul prospers. So that means that, we have to be in the word of God and keeping ourselves encouraged. Can't nothing encourage you like the word of God. I know we say, oh, she just encouraged me, but she didn't encourage you. It was the words that were coming out at you that encouraged you. So, get in the word of God. Be encouraged. You have to encourage yourself before you can encourage someone else. So be encouraged so that we can reach a nation for God. And people need love. They're looking for love. And their behavior looks different. Not because they're angry at us or a particular person or a particular thing. Many times people are acting out because they cannot find love. Pure love. And that is what they need. So our motives have to be right, because we have to be an example of God's pure love to people, so that they don't have to go into all of these mental disorders or behavioral disorders. When we have children, and I have some special needs grandchildren, and those children, when they have those behaviors, many times parents just want to reach out and touch them. But most times what they need is an expression of love to bring them out of that behavior. So think about that. And not just special needs children, but children, all children, they need love. And so that's how we are as human beings. Real love cannot be denied. I don't care what you say. Real love cannot be denied. So if people encounter real love, they can't deny it. And they won't deny it. People try to be hard in front of you, try to uphold what, who they created themselves to be in front of you. But when they leave your presence, that love is working in them. And that's what we have to depend on. Because now we have to remember, and I say this all the time, and I'll say it again because it's in order right here. We are created to do two things. One plant, one water, but God gives the increase. So all we have to do is plant that seed or water the seed that's already been planted and trust God to give the increase. And He will. But we can't see the process all the way through. It just may not be for us to do that. I know we want to do that and make sure they are right and this, that, and the other. But we have to trust God because we don't know what the real situation is for real. We really don't know. We don't know the root of it. Let me say that. We don't know the root of the real situation. And so, we have to just trust God. We have to trust God. Live out of pure motives, so that people don't get mixed messages about our life, so that we can be trusted to share the love of God with people, to share the word of God with people. That's what we're supposed to do. We don't have any other options. Because I can remember coming up as a child and, even in my teenage years and my early adult years, just needing love, but was always getting, those just negative statements thrown out. To the point where I didn't even love myself because I didn't think that I was worthy of love. Because, when people say, when they say so many things or when they lash out at you so much, you really don't have an idea of what love is. Now, don't get me wrong. My parents loved me. And my parents did right by us. They raised us right. But, when you encounter people outside the home, you don't get all that right that, you encounter inside the home. And so, it gets kind of tricky for you. And even with family members outside of, your immediate family, when they throw out all of those negative statements at you, and these are people that are supposed to love you in spite of, and these are people, that's supposed to care about you and help you and all of that. And when you get all of that negativity from them, it is real different. It's real different. It causes you to feel different. I mean, everything. And what it takes is a, pure encounter with the love of God that, brings you back into, knowing that God's love is real, that love is attainable. Some people don't feel like that love is attainable because they encounter so much negativity. So what we have to do is, make sure that we are that love expression that people need to see or that people need to encounter, no matter what their, situation is, their problems, their issues. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. They just need love. And they need a love expression. They need words of love, words of affirmation. And then God will do the rest. He knows. He already knows what they're struggling with. And He'll do the rest. But we have to remember, such were some of us. We may not been out there in the same place, but we was out there in the mental place. And so, we want our motives to be pure in everything that we do and in everything that we say. When we have pure motives, we won't lash out at people. We won't lash out and try to hurt people's feelings. We won't try to retaliate because we understand why they're lashing out. We understand, why people are the way people are. People do what they know. When they don't know anything else, they can't be responsible for anything else. But I tell you what, when they encounter that love, then they are responsible for, what they are getting from us. So just let your motives be pure. Listen, you all have a blessed and prosperous day. I'm going to take this long ride, y'all, but it's a blessing. I'm going to come back and give you all an update also on my mom and, the stages of dementia and the updates on things that, have encountered. We have been really blessed. We've had some, some help to come in and things like that. So I'll give you all another update on that. And maybe I'll have Mom sit there, if she'll sit there long enough. Because, she's just real busy and wandering. But I thank God once again for, us having the opportunity to care for our mom. So you all, motives, let your motives be good. Let them be pure. And then go out and bless somebody. Bless them with word. Pay it forward. Whatever it takes. Bless somebody. You all have a great day. Bye-bye.